Nothing.
Yeah, it's taking a minute. It's thinking. I don't know why it's thinking so much. Still not going.
There it is. It's live now. Where'd you go? Oh. There he is. We're live now, buddy.
Always the stuff right here. Get some tests going right here. Let's make sure. Thank you, Stafford.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
Sell the team, bro. Sell the team. 1957. Ain't won shit since 1957. They need to sell the team. They ain't never gonna do nothing. Same old lines.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
You ever meet somebody and they're so boring you feel like they poisoned you? Like, you're talking to them and you're like, I feel like I'm dying right now. And I think you did it.
Oh my God, it's a 4-2-5 defense. All you gotta do is blitz more. All they gotta do is fire Aaron Glenn, and then they can start winning again. They're so stupid.
Hello? Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
You see that comment right there?
Oh, shoot.
You're in the wrestling group instead of the villain squad.
I'm deleting it on Facebook right now. Good call. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jordan. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Fred.
Oh, welcome one, welcome all right here while this thing is on here. Thank you so much. Welcome one, welcome all to Football Talk with Russell Wayne. That is me right here. And we are broadcasting live into the Villain Squad right now. Thank you for pointing that out, by the way. So thank you for joining the program right here, broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions News Podcast. Joe Chapp and the boys, man, putting a shout out, 75,000 followers right there. We're also broadcasting live into our spot right here, and we are approaching 44,000 villains, and I think that we might be there. I don't know. I didn't look at it, but we were really, really close right there. Thank you for supporting our page right here, and it's Detroit Rock City. Football Talk with Russell Wayne, and not just Russell Wayne, my compadre, Main Event Mike, is in the house. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Russ. Congratulations on crossing 44,000 villains just a minute ago.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Right there. 44,000 villains. You guys are the ones that make the steam run right here. We started out really just broadcasting here in the Detroit Lions News Podcast. We can't thank these guys enough for helping us get this platform off of the ground, but it's off the ground now. 44,000 villains. We got our own little villain squad. Bunch of people in there. We got Fred Peterson as our Patreon. If you want to support the page via Patreon, you can do that through Villain Squad. You just type in patreon.com, go to Patreon, put in Villain Squad, and you can support what we're doing right here. And obviously, if you're not a football fan, you're not going to, think too highly of that. But if you are a football fan, this is football content 365 days a year. Now, this isn't just videos and a bunch of talking heads, me and Mike yapping our yappers. We do that, and we have our bad takes that we put out every day. But join the conversation. When you're following the page, we put out stuff every day, and we want you guys to jump on there. We want to know what your opinions are, and the more and more you do that, the better the content can be here when we come on here and we talk about the things that you guys want to talk about. So today, we're going to be talking a little bit about Traquan Smith. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Super Bowl, who you're rooting for. We're going to be talking about some of the awards that are going to be happening here, including the most prestigious award of all time, which is the Villain Squad Lion of the Year. And we're going to go through a little bit of the schedule right here. What do you want to start with, Mike? What do you want to throw at these people first?
Oh, gosh.
Such good stuff.
I don't know, man. You decide.
Well, let's get the breaking news out of the way. It's not really breaking news. It happened a couple days ago, but the Lions, it seems like this was a bigger deal than I made it to be yesterday when I brought it up, and I made a graphic for it today. Lions bringing in Traquan Smith, who used to be a wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints, has a little bit of experience with Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn and everything. What do you think of this move, bringing in Traquan Smith?
I don't know. It's a depth piece, right? It's a practice squad player at this point. He's got a history working with Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell down there in New Orleans, where he was a third-round pick out of the University of Central Florida. He's 28 years old. He's 6'2". So he's listed at 6'2". When I seen him play, he didn't seem that tall to me. That might be one of them things where he's 6'1" and they're a smidge over, so they're rounding it up to 6'2". I don't know.
But that's good size still.
They got him to 6'2". He was known as a speedster coming out of college. He had great numbers at the University of Central Florida. Third-round pick who's washed out in the league, and now he gets a chance to sign with the Lions on the practice squad. Just a depth piece. I think it's news because it's Lions related, but it's not a lot of news. We don't know for sure that he'll even make the team when it's all said and done.
So it's not a big needle mover for you. I'll say this about Traquan Smith a couple years ago when he was in New Orleans. He's sitting behind, a Michael Thomas, and they have some other wide receivers that were just balling out. So he kind of got buried on that depth chart. But I had him on my fantasy team for a couple days. So when a couple of these guys got injured, this guy actually had a pretty good couple games right there. I remember people running to the fantasy football, the waiver wires, and he was a hot commodity for about 6.5 minutes, which is a long time. I'm kidding. But Traquan Smith, I don't know, it doesn't move the needle gigantically for me, but it is a move, and it just kind of proves one of the things here for the offseason that Brad Holmes just local resource that he can when it comes to building this roster, and it's never done. And I love that about Brad Holmes. Is I don't know if this is going to move the needle, but this guy could come into camp and he can compete. There is no Donovan Peoples-Jones anymore. There is no Josh Reynolds anymore. They may re-sign those players, but for right now, there was a wide receiver deficiency before we get into the free agency. So I think it's a good move. I mean, the worst case scenario, it costs you $1.50 and he doesn't make the team. So there's definitely no risk involved to bringing in Traquan Smith. So what do you think about there, Traquan Smith out there? It's a futures contract. So he's 100% a depth piece. It just means that he's going to be practicing on the practice squad, and he's going to be learning the offense. He's going to be around the culture. And they got a bunch of these guys that they've been bringing in and out, that are starting to understand, how this franchise runs. And there you go, Steve, coming in with Spencer Rattler is the best QB in this draft class.
Well, I don't know. Do a little more research than just watch the Senior Bowl, Steve.
Well, he might have been the best one at the Senior Bowl right there. Let's see what it looks like we're talking about. There are a lot of wide receivers in the draft. I think you can make sense in that safety room even better than the top of the DB board. Okay, so we're having a conversation in the comments right now about the draft and free agency, and we're going to keep our poise, Mike. We're not going to go and start talking about these free agencies right now and stuff like that. We have the Super Bowl is this week, right? Yeah. How much you caring about that? How much you loving this Super Bowl? Right. You loving this Super Bowl, Mike? Who are you rooting for?
I'm not loving this Super Bowl, Russ. The Lions were up by 3 scores at halftime. I can't get excited about this Super Bowl. It should be the Detroit Lions playing in the Super Bowl. An epic collapse in the title game is the only reason these stupid Niners are in this game. I hope Patrick Mahomes goes in and smashes them. Originally, I was going to root for the Niners because that way we could say we lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion, but I'm taking that back. That bounced off his face mask, Russ, and the guy caught it for a 51. No. I hope you lose. I hope the Chiefs smash you by 3 touchdowns. That probably won't happen, but I really hope Patrick Mahomes just goes in and shows them who the man is.
Yeah, I love that take, Mike. I love that take because it's like there was emotion that, we lost the game and all that stuff. And it comes down to, and you brought this up to me yesterday and it really punched me in the face. It's like out of all the excuses in the world, the best excuse is they got lucky. I mean, the ball bounced off of his face mask. And it's a good play. I mean, you expect your guys, if there's an opportunity there to make a play, that, he takes advantage of it. I'm going to give them credit for that, but that's lucky. It bounced off of his face mask, and they got a 51-yard play that changed the complexion of the game. So, yeah, I'm not going to be rooting for everybody. I'm on the chip dip side right here. I don't really care. I'm going to get some chip dip. I'm going to enjoy the game, but I'm going to enjoy the people that are around me because this is a great chance for me to promote faith family football. We lost the game, guys. We're in the off season right now. And I'm not going to let it ruin my Super Bowl. I'm not going to let it ruin like that day. 30 teams right now are pissed off. Their team's not in there. They wanted to be in there. They didn't get there. So it does hurt more when you lose in the NFC title game. But doesn't it feel good to hurt more? That we're talking about the fact that the Detroit Lions were in the NFC Championship. I know it hurts. It hurts that they lose, but that's what happens. The more and more, the farther that you get, the more the hurt is. What do you think it would be like to the Super Bowl loser on Sunday? You think they're going to be feeling, well, at least we made it to the Super Bowl. Well, sure, maybe. Not these two teams. Not these two teams. None of these two teams are going to be going, well, we at least made the Super Bowl. No. Patrick Mahomes won it last year. Anything less than that is a bust. The San Francisco 49ers have been in the NFC title game like 4 out of 5 years. If they don't win the Super Bowl, it's a failure. The Lions ain't been to the NFC title game in 30 years. You got 1 year of this, Lion fan. You have 1 year of this because the expectation is going to raise. Should fans be raising their expectations? I don't know why you wouldn't. What evidence do you have that this team's going to be anything less than it was last year? I know that Dan Campbell came out and said the right stuff. Oh, it might be the last time that we ever get there. And it's true. That's a little bit true, but he did that for motivation because he knows he's going to be back there. He knows that we're going to be competing every year, that this is normalizing this. I know it's hard for Lion fan to think about this, okay? It's hard, but this could be normal. This could be normal in a couple of years. But what are you doing? Who are you rooting for, Mike? You want to take the reins on that again? Right
yeah,
there.
I'm going to root for the Chiefs. Just because I'm so disgusted. And I'm going to get my football squares today. So when I find out what numbers I've gotten the squares, that's what I'll be rooting for.
Yep. And Jordan says the same thing. Yeah. For Lion fan, if we would have made it to the Super Bowl and lost, that's what we would say. We'd be saying the same thing that you should be saying about this, about us making it to the NFC Championship. Like, how can you criticize a place that you've never been before? Like, most Lions fans weren't alive in 1991, okay? I mean, let's be honest right here. So if we want to go, well, they lost that game and they did it in a way that they didn't want it. Like, they were never in that game. They've never been in that game. We can criticize it, but I mean, is it going to make you like an SOL fan or something? Like,
we got some great comments in here.
Are you turning into this over the loss? I mean, is it this bad already? Because they lost the game?
Right.
It's not.
We got a few responses to these first two topics already. Russ, you want me to hit them?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't want to move on before we hit them.
Right. Fred says we will be back. One pride. Ricky says Jeremy is amazing. Great guy. Yeah, that's why we have him on our network, Ricky. He's okay, but he's not always right. I'll tell you that. He said that Traquan Smith, he isn't fast. He's mostly a camp body. Well, he's faster than you, Jeremy. He ran a 4.4. Okay, he ran a 4.49 at the combine. So you could say he isn't fast, but he'll smoke you in a 40-yard dash. I think it's
not by much. I mean,
think a 4.49 is fair enough to say he's fast. Okay,
he's fast, but I mean, Jeremy was right there at a 4.54. Okay, like I mean, it's pretty damn close if you ask me.
And at 6'2", 210 pounds, I think that's what Jay is saying here. Holmes has seemingly really struggled to find his X receiver, something that we talk about all the time. Not for lack of trying. That bigger body, 7-route red zone guy has eluded him to this point. And I agree 100% with that, Jay. It's a point that I make all the time. We need that outside the numbers X guy. We still have it.
Good comment.
Steve replying to me, telling me that he's been following Spencer Rattler for years. I didn't mean to be disrespectful, Steve. I know that you know your stuff. And Spencer Rattler, of course, started his career at Oklahoma, where he's one of the highest touted quarterbacks coming out that year. Decided to stay, hit the transfer portal to improve his draft stock. He's still not projected as a top 10 prospect. So definitely respect your opinion on that, Steve. And then Jeremy, and what we're talking about, who you're rooting for. We should be there beating the Chiefs, but again, we blew it. Yeah, just kind of echoing what I mean.
That's fair.
There.
I mean, you're entitled to that opinion, but I'm also entitled to go back on it and look at the end of that game and watch a ball bounce off a face mask, and I can say that San Francisco 49ers were lucky.
Great. And Brent's right here with me. I can't wait for the Super Bowl to be over so we can talk about something
else. Thank
you. On our pre-production call today, Brent, I'll let you know that Russ and I were like, do we want to talk about this game? I don't even really want to talk about this game. We got to talk about this game. So yeah.
Yeah, I blame it on Facebook community standards.
Yeah, there you go. And a lot of these people saying, don't worry, the Lions will be back. There's a lot of chatter here in the comments about that. Sarah saying so many things can derail a season. You just never know. Yeah. Ask the Philadelphia Eagles. who were in the Super Bowl last year. Steve says, after the pain, the
Wait a
sun
minute.
god came up again, and I'm okay now. Great year
What
for us
happened to the
Lions. So
Eagles?
much joy outweighs the pain.
What happened to the Eagles? I have no idea what happened to the Eagles. I mean,
so many things can derail your season, is Sarah's point, and I'm just using the Eagles to emphasize that.
Yeah, but look at the picture. Whatever happened to the Eagles? I mean, they were so good. I mean, who would have ever known what could have happened to them? I have no idea, Matt Patricia, that you could just change one guy and it could derail your entire season. It's amazing like that, Matt Patricia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Brent says, they're all professional teams. It's difficult to get back, and that's why Dan Campbell said, this may be our only shot, because let's temper it a little bit here, guys. Let's face it. It is very hard to make it back to that title game. And you're up by 3 scores at halftime and you're not playing in the Super Bowl. That's an epic collapse. And the Anzalone article was absolute fire. We all know that. It was motivating. Brad Holmes' press conference the other day was super encouraging and motivating. But the specter of injury looms over every team. If Jared Goff goes down in week 3, we might have a decent season, but the Super Bowl is probably out of reach. If Aiden Hutchinson goes down with an injury, that could derail a season. There's so, like Sarah says, there are so many things that could derail your season. Do not take it for granted that we're going to be back next year. It was an epic run, and it was also an epic collapse, and don't forget that. Are you frozen?
Might be.
Oh, there you are. I see you now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Am I still there? Am I still here?
You're there.
Barely.
Yeah, you sound like T-Pain. Your vocals kind of wobbling in and out. A-Dub says, Chiefs winning this Super Bowl means they can be in the conversation about a dynasty in Kansas City. I think they're already in that conversation. 6 straight AFC Championship games doesn't make you a dynasty with 2 Super Bowl wins and 3 Super Bowl appearances. Hell, they could have lost that game to Baltimore, and that'd still be a dynasty, in my opinion, A-Dub, but I see where you're going with it, and I really appreciate the comment. You still there, Russ? Right. Jeremy says the third quarter was the Achilles heel of these coordinators that cannot be ignored anymore. That's absolutely right. I saw the stat that was posted yesterday over the course of the year. We ranked in the top 5 in scoring on all 3 of the other 4 quarters. And that third quarter, I think we were 22nd, maybe 21st in the league in the third quarter scoring. That's a glaring disparity, folks. That is definitely something that needs to be addressed. Jay says, which is worse, getting housed in Frisco like you didn't belong, or blowing a game you should have won? I think blowing a game you should have won is way worse. If we were down 24-7 at halftime instead of being up 24-7 at halftime, flips the entire feeling. It flips the next day, I'm not crushed. I didn't have my soul ripped out. Okay? I had my soul ripped out in the first half, maybe, and I can recover from that a little easier than making Super Bowl plans like I did and then not being there. Absolutely. Great comment, though, Jay. Thank you. You back, Russ? Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, I figured I'd just hop out real quick. I rebooted my computer and closed everything, and hopefully this helps. So, boom. What did you hit? After
you asked what happened to the Eagles, and Ken. You asked what happened to the Eagles, and Ken said Matt Patricia happened to the Eagles. That's a good one.
That's right. Yeah.
And Jordan,
what
Jordan, our good friend Jordan. After the Super Bowl, we could talk about something else like mock drafts. Not. I can already feel the shrinkage. Jordan doesn't like mock drafts, and I'm not liking mock drafts these days anymore. Brad Holmes has made me not like mock drafts because I have no idea what Brad Holmes is going to do. He shakes up the entire draft day every year.
Now, I don't mind mock drafts as long as it's not like, because when we get into mock draft season, like every Tom, Dick, Harry, Joe, and Chris and Kyle, they all make mock drafts and they post them. So I don't mind mock drafts. Just don't post one every 3 hours. Oh, look what I got in this one. Look. Oh, wow, Brad Holmes didn't pick my guys, so I'm mad. mad because I did 7,000 mock drafts and I had the perfect one and he didn't pick my guys. That's annoying.
Right. Right. In the second round, I took the best available corner. Some guy I never heard of from Fresno State. But anyway, here it is.
And Brad Holmes is stupid for not picking this guy that I didn't know anything about.
Yeah. So let's talk about this upcoming schedule of the NFL. You want to? Or you want? Do we still want to talk about? You know what? Let's stay on this Super Bowl thing one more. Just hit it one more time ad nauseum. Head on over to our page, Lions Villain Squad on Facebook. You might be watching on there now. I put up a poll this morning. Who do you want to win the Super Bowl? Who are you rooting for? Is it the Chiefs, the Niners, or the third option, which is no one because the Lions aren't in it, meaning you don't care. And right now, option 3 is winning by a landslide, Russell.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to get some chip dip. Okay, that's what it is right there. And you can also answer it like this too. So just your Super Bowl excitement. I mean, put a number on it. You can even use the Olympic ratings too. You can say 6.5 if you want. But what is your overall excitement level? I mean, it seems like if you're a Chiefs fan, that's cool. But we're sick of it, you know? What is the greatest Super Bowl that you've ever seen? I mean, I don't know what to pull excitement out of this, Mike. I don't know if anybody's really all that excited about, this year's Super Bowl, but I will say this, that the day after the Super Bowl, this program is moving to the afternoons and Jeremy B is going to be taking over the 11 o'clock slot. We will still be here in the morning. And Jeremy B will be taking over the 11 o'clock slot, and we are going to move to 3 p.m. We're moving to 3 p.m. on Monday, Football Talk with Russell Wayne. So we're going to have a morning show and an afternoon show. And on this special show right here, we are going to be announcing the Lion of the Year nominee, Villain Squad style. I nominated Frank the Tank. We nominated Frank the Tank from this show. And we're going to announce this prestigious winner. There's the Nobel Prize. There's the Medal of Honor. The Purple Heart and everything. But nothing like this. The Villain Squad Lion of the Year award winner to be announced on Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. At 3 p.m. at Football Talk with Russell Wayne. So thank you for those that are here and watching. Can you please hit that like button? Please hit that subscribe button. If you're watching right now and you like football, obviously you'd want to do that. We're at Lions Villain Squad, just crossed over 44,000 followers right there. Shout out to Joe Chapp and the boys from the Detroit Lions News Podcast for getting it up, getting it going, helping us get this thing off the ground, and it's off the ground now. So we appreciate that. Patreon.com/Villain Squad if you want to support the show. I think we can move on, Mike. Do you want to get into that schedule now?
I think we can move on. Also, we got basketball going on in the chat, so I'm just going to leave that alone. And don't forget about Adrian Dantley, Mark Aguirre. That was the real trade. That was Jack McCloskey. That he was Trader Jack was the man. All right, let's talk about the NFL model, a 365-day-a-year NFL calendar that the NFL has provided with us. And that's why we are the Main Event Network 365. That's why that 365 is in our title, because 365 days a year, we're talking about football and we're bringing you football content. So let's start out. February 20th through March the 5th, the window is open to franchise tag players. Okay. You have until it opens on the 20th of February. This is the first major thing on the calendar after the Super Bowl for the NFL. And that runs until March 5th. That is the window to franchise tag players. For the Detroit Lions, there really aren't many candidates on this list. Maybe Jonah Jackson. You could franchise Jonah Jackson, but that would cost you $21 million for a left guard. That might be a little too pricey for Brad Holmes with some of these other people he's got to pay.
How about no?
How about no? Jonah Jackson, 21 million is probably the only option there, but there are a lot of players out there. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. They could franchise Josh Jacobs again in Las Vegas. A lot of things. Austin Eckler could be tagged at the Chargers. So it's going to be really interesting. There's going to be a lot of news coming out there between the 20th and the 5th of March. On February 27th, we have a little overlap here. From the 27th to March 4th, it's the NFL Scouting Combine. A big deal. We know that the Lions are big at the Combine. They send a whole army of scouts and personnel down there to do interviews, they do their own stopwatches. They do everything independently. Brad Holmes, of course, is a draft nick. He is a personnel, a scout first and everything else second. And this is where he excels, as we can see in every draft so far. So February 27th to March 4th is the Scouting Combine. And of course, through the course of that combine, the Lions will begin to build a list, and that list will be 30 prospects that they will be allowed to bring in to their own building for visits, for timing them on, they can even run plays, I think, they can work them out anyway. And they get 30 prospects, and they have until... Let me see that. I should put that on the same page. Anyway, we'll move on. So that starts on February 27th to March 4th. They'll also make their list for their 30 visits. Okay, moving on. March 11th through 13th. This is called the legal tampering period, where teams can talk to the agents of players. They can agree in terms with the players. They cannot speak directly to the players. This is called the legal tampering period. It's 2 days before free agency starts, and that starts on March 11th. Last year, the Lions got the David Montgomery deal pretty much done during this period, where they were able to negotiate the terms with the agent, get the numbers right, and then on March 13th is the new league year, and that's when free agency begins.
And we can go, it goes deeper than that. Obviously, it's the whole year of that, but that's as far as we're going to go right now, and that'll take us up and to that spot. But one comment I wanted to make on the legal tampering period, what's really funny is that they have these dates, right? From the 11th to the 13th is when they
I'm going to get back to the list now. March 24th to the 27th is the league owners meeting. That's in Orlando this year. They'll discuss new NFL rules. I'm sorry, Russ, what was that?
I don't know. I was like in the middle of a thought, and then you decided to move on.
I waited.
I was in the middle of a sentence.
Oh, your audio must have cut out on me then, because there was a long pause.
That's a thing. What I was saying is we don't need to go past March 13th right now, because it's February and this is what's on the thing. It goes all year round. Understand it, but I mean, the owner meetings, once we get to that, we can get into that part right there. But this takes us to March 13th, which is the brand new league year. And the funny thing is during that legal tampering period, it's funny, they say it's from the 11th to the 13th, and you're gonna see stuff like March 5th. Oh well, they've agreed in this. They have to wait till the new league year starts, and it's really funny that they have these dates in here, because they obviously don't follow their own rules, but it's fun anyway. Did you hear that, or am I? Yeah. Did I cut?
No, I heard
okay. I'm just. I'm used to people not paying attention to me, so it's like when I get done with a sentence, I'm used to either hearing a whole bunch of bad comments in the comments about the thing I just said, or just ignore me like my wife does.
Right, you want me to go to the comments now on that? We'll point out all the places where Jeremy says we're wrong.
Okay.
According to Pro Football Focus, the Lions have not one player they consider worth the franchise tag out of their upcoming free agents. Pretty sure that's exactly what I said, that Jonah Jackson would be the only one considered, and that's a 21 million. So probably he says that March 15th is the actual free agent frenzy starts. Okay. Let's see. Looks like that's the only place where he has us going. So there we go.
Oh, well, I love that you love to correct us, but like I go to a site that's like the NFL.com to get this information, put it out there. Mike confirmed that I was right on these things that I've put up there, the legal tampering peers. So that all the actual stuff right there, both Mike and I did independent research and somehow came up with the same numbers. So if it does start on the 15th, I'm sorry that I was off by 2 days, but that's not what I saw out there. I didn't see it out there. When you get on your show tomorrow, Jeremy, tell them all about it. Tell them all about that it's actually the 15th and that we're all full of crap. But it's frustrating to get checked on your own show when we did our own independent research. And you can find this. You can find this on Google. All this information. So it might have a couple of different things. Maybe I looked in last year's, Mike. Maybe it was last year's free agency that was like that. The Lion of the Year nominee. Ours is Frank Ragnow. Who's your Lion of the Year? I want to throw some music in here. Let's get this thing. I'll put that in there so I can distract myself.
Not hearing anything.
You're not hearing anything?
No.
You're not hearing any music?
No.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to cut the show off then, because it seems like we're not getting any kind of good flowage today. And I guess we're not going to get through it.
Oh, Sarah says she hears music. And Jeremy says he hears it. So for some reason, it just be me. I can hear your voice, but no music. Odd. Maybe because I'm on the stream.
I don't know. I have no
Wayne
idea.
says he hears the music too. I mean, I had a lot more to talk about, but if you want to just cut it,
I mean, I'm just like
tomorrow we can do that.
I get done with the thought, and it feels like you're not hearing me, and it feels like it's a polling. It's polling today. I feel like it's nails on a chalkboard. I get done, or it's either I get interrupted with something that you can't hear me on, but then when I get done with a thought, there's a 20-second pause, and I don't even know if the thing's on. So it could be my internet, or maybe it's your internet this time. Everybody's saying they can hear everything.
Yeah, so don't worry about it then.
Okay, don't bring it up. Same here. Everybody I pay attention, Russell. All right, we got a bunch of this stuff. What do you want to talk about, Mike?
Oh, no, I had a lot more for the NFL schedule. It's a 365-day year calendar, but it didn't fit the slide you made. I didn't know that we were going to stop because it didn't fit your slide beyond March 13th. I came up with takes for all the stuff all the way through the year, but we can save it for tomorrow. It's no big deal.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. You gotta do it now. You brought it up. You got to finish it now.
Yeah, I mean, somebody might actually want to know about new uniforms. The Lions have hinted that they might come out with an alternate jersey for next year. Last year, they unveiled it in mid-April. And the draft, and this is also on our list, the NFL draft starts on April 25th. If they were going to unveil a new uni, which Rod Wood hinted that he was going to, mid-April seems like the right time to do it, so it would be ahead of the draft, I would think. March 24th through 27th is the league owners meeting. It's in Orlando this year, and they will review the new NFL rules. April 15th, off-season workouts begin. Strengthening and rehab mostly. in the off-season workouts is mostly, it's not a lot of there's no installs or anything. It's just everybody getting back in the building and getting used to being in the weight room. That's April 15th. April 17th, this is the one I was looking for, is the deadline for top 30 visits. So after the combine and they assemble that list of 30 prospects that they want to bring in and really get a deeper dive and a closer look at them, that deadline is April the 17th to bring in your top 30 prospects for a visit into your building. That one is very telling to me. We saw Sam Laporta there last year, Jahmyr Gibbs. So, I mean, some of them that seemed like a formality and they end up drafting those players. I think that's a very intriguing time. April 19th is the deadline for restricted free agents to sign offers. The Lions have 6 players that are restricted free agents. So by April 19th, they will have to be signed or they will be free to sign with another team. As we said, Thursday, April the 25th at 8 p.m., the NFL draft will be in Detroit. They'll do the first round on Thursday night. The second round is on Friday night, and the third round is on Friday night, and they will do the rest starting at noon on the last day of the draft, being Saturday. And then on May 2nd, it is the deadline to exercise fifth-year options. We saw this as a big deal last year with Jordan Love. This year, it's Penei Sewell eligible for a fifth-year option. We've got until May 2nd to exercise the fifth-year option on Penei Sewell if that's what we're going to do. More than likely, they'll extend his contract, and it won't get to that. But there is a deadline set on that. Then now there are 2 weeks for rookie minicamp, May 3rd through 6th or May 10th through the 13th. For the last 2 years, the Lions have opted for the second window. So this year it could be May 10th through 13th, rookie minicamp. Very important. This is also team tryouts, Russ. This is a time that Joes and dishwashers off the street can come in and try out for the Detroit Lions. You want to add any points to any of those before I move on to the next one?
No, that's all right. I'm looking for a share screen here for you so I can stay with you. Go ahead.
Okay. My favorite every year happens in mid-May, and that is the NFL schedule release. They tease you and let you know the teams that we're going to play, but they don't tell you the dates or where it falls on the schedule. So NFL schedule release is sometime in mid-May. In 2021, it was released on the 13th. 2022 was the 12th, and 2023 was the 11th. So somewhere in that second week, we're going to see the NFL schedule release, and we will know how the schedule falls out. I thought it was very beneficial for the Lions this year, having most of our division games backloaded. That allowed us to make a good run going into the playoffs and go in on some winning notes. In late May or early June, it's OTAs, organized team activities, mandatory minicamp. And last year, that was on May 23rd to June 15th. So somewhere between the May-June border, we're going to see OTAs and mandatory minicamp. And then in late July, it's the training camp. Last year, training camp started on the 23rd of July. And there will be 10 practices. Last year, there were 8. This year, there will be 10 practices open to the public. I know you and I are going to try to get down to at least one of them this year. We want to go down to practice. And then early August, it's the NFL preseason starts, and we do this thing all over again for the 2024 season. And that is your run-through of your calendar of events for the NFL.
Right on. Very good. Very good. And that is interesting, with all of those different dates on there. And I wanted to pull up the NFL.com. I'm not trying to be a dick, Jeremy, but it's not the 15th. I just double checked it right there, and I'll go ahead and put that in there. I don't want you to get your information wrong, because this
says that's when the frenzy starts. It opens on the 13th, but on the 15th is when everybody there's so many deals being made on that day, is what he's saying.
Okay, so I don't know what that means, though. Like, because I'm looking at these dates, I don't see frenzy on there. So that must be
because free agency runs, it starts on those days. The 13th is when it starts, but hell, it goes all the way, into before the start of the season, is when free agency closes. I actually think that it's a few games into the season. So it goes a long, long time. But he's saying on the 15th is when the frenzy will really start.
Okay. Well, just so you know out there that it doesn't start on the 15th. It starts on the 13th. The 13th is when the frenzy starts. Actually, the frenzy will start on the 11th when they open up the tampering period. And then you'll see 75 deals that are done that they can't talk about yet, but that they talk about. That'll start on the 11th. When it comes with that part.
That's right. That's the legal tampering on the 11th.
The legal tampering. That's when all the deals, that's when all the shit's going to come through. Is
but
on
they
the 11th.
can't actually sign it until the 13th. They can't even meet with the player till then.
I'm just busting balls right here, but busting balls with the Jeremy B right there. But it comes with that. There's no 15th. There is no 15th date. The 15th date doesn't mean, I mean, you could say 17th. Okay. Any day after the 13th where it opens is free agency. I think it's kind of interesting that when you look at the schedule, the scouting combine, I was just thinking that, God, we need to talk about all these free agents first, but really the scouting combine is going to come first.
Right.
So we're actually going to be talking about these rookies ad nauseum. You know, these potential scouting guys before we get into the free agent. But we're going to look over the free agencies too. All next week, there's probably got the top 100 free agents that are out there. And we want to see how these fit in all the, you know, on all the NFC North teams. Who's going to be looking for these guys? Obviously, we need cornerback help and all that other stuff. And we'll dive deep into those right here. But we're getting into the end of the year awards, Mike. Did you have anything on that? I mean, the NFL has their only.
Yeah, that's tomorrow night. They're doing the NFL Honors Awards, if I'm not mistaken. And then tomorrow will be the final football talk with Russell Wayne at the 11 o'clock start time. Monday, we will be turning it over to Jeremy B at this time, which we're excited about that. We're really glad to have him on here, and I hope you all will stick with it if you're not already watching him. Start watching Jeremy B here on our network at 11 a.m. But so tomorrow we might have Grove Teague from And We Know Sports on. We love having GT on the show, and we might just go through some of our awards. Is that what we're looking at tomorrow, Russ?
Yeah, well, we want to look at their awards. I mean, what they're doing, and you know, we want to give our awards too to the same degree. You know,
right.
You know, they got offensive rookie of the year. You know, defensive rookie of the year, right. Coach of the year.
So start thinking about it, folks. And tomorrow, let us know. We're looking at MVP first, right? Coach of the year, executive of the year, offensive and defensive rookie of the year, and comeback player of the year. Let me run through those again. It's exec of the year, coach of the year, offensive and defensive rookie of the year, comeback player of the year, and MVP at the top. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 awards that we want to know your opinion. Who's your most valuable player? It's looking like Lamar's probably going to run away with that. Executive of the year, I don't see how you don't give it to Dan Campbell. And from there, it starts to get a. Did I say Dan Campbell? Executive of the year. I don't know how you don't give it to Brad Holmes.
Buy the kneecap off
to Brad Holmes for executive of the year. But after that, it's kind of gets a little murky. Coach of the year. I'm not going to vote for Dan Campbell. Offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Mm-hmm. Comeback player of the year. That's going to be an interesting one. So there you go, folks. You have some homework for tomorrow. Let us know what you think when you come in here tomorrow for those nominees. What do you think, Russ?
I love those. I love those nominees, and I'm not going to be here.
Right? Oh, that's right. The last football talk with Russell Wayne won't have Russell Wayne.
Yep, I'm making my. But why?
Because you have rehearsal for the biggest show of the year so far. Toolology at the Machine Shop with special guest The 99, Saturday, February 17th in mid-Michigan at the world-famous Machine Shop Concert Hall. Send us a DM if you're going to be in mid-Michigan. I might be able to squeak out a ticket for you.
Yeah, especially for the people that watch this show. I mean, I think that would be kind of cool. You got to come get it, though.
Oh, we would love to see some villains there.
We would love to see some villains there. We love that. And Jeremy, you just won't stop. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the 15th, the NFL Network's coverage is called Free Agency Frenzy, and the show goes, gosh, you can't just like stop making me look bad on here, Jeremy.
Oh no, he lives for it.
He lives it. Are you trying to make me look bad? I showed you the NFL.com where free agency starts on the 13th. I saw nothing on the NFL on that schedule that said the 15th. So if you have that, when you do your show tomorrow, make sure you bring up the clip and don't just talk. I brought up a clip. I brought proof that it starts on the 13th. Stop trying to make me look bad, because you're not. You're not making me look bad. I brought it up. I'll do it again. Just so you can see that I am not. This is the NFL Network. This is the NFL. This is the NFL.com. I don't know where else you want me to go, or where that.
Russ,
that
he's
other
saying
is.
that there's a show. It's a show on the NFL Networks that's on the 15th.
But don't come on a show where I'm telling everybody it starts on the 13th and say it starts on the 15th because you saw a blurb of a show that's on the NFL Network. There's a time for that. Do not confuse this fan base, the one that's watching this show. You can confuse them on your own show. It starts on the 15th. There may be a show called Football Frenzy that will be covering all of that, but that will start. The frenzy is going to start on the 11th. The legal tampering period, you know how it is. Do you remember the year it was when Jim Schwartz came here? He went to what was that? Vanden Bosch? Was it Vanden Bosch, the pass rusher? Do you remember Kyle Vanden Bosch?
Sure.
They went to his house and was there at midnight at the beginning of the legal tampering period, being like, I want you on my team. So the beginning of that legal tampering period is hilarious because you're not supposed to be talking to people, but yet they got these deals done somehow. Well, I'm not supposed to talk to you yet, but the deal's done. I think it's funny. And Jeremy, I'm just busting your balls because you have your Jeremy.
Fred said he Googled it. The machine shop's 2.5 hours from him, so he's not going to be able to make it that one. But hey, Fred, I don't know if you've got Messenger, but I sent you a private message in Messenger. Hit me back and let me know if you don't have Messenger and you can't receive that message. We'll figure something else out.
Brent says, no, Sarah, that's just podcasters. That's just our podcasters. That's what it is. Here's the thing is Jeremy and I, Mike and I, you like GT and the people that come onto this program, it's like to get your balls busted on this program to me is an honor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the
we don't talk like that to people we don't like.
Yeah. If I didn't love Jeremy B like my boy, I wouldn't be on here making fun of him. So the worst thing that could happen to you is that I'm not making fun of you.
Yeah, I mean, I love Jeremy B like a dude I know.
We're just having fun, man. This is how this thing started. We just came on here, started talking some smack on about football, supporting our team, throwing some awful takes out here, and then y'all showed up, and this was fun.
Now Jeremy's getting indignant too. You're taking it all wrong. No, we're not. We're busting your balls, dude. Relax.
Busting balls with Jeremy B. Wait, he's not going to call it that because Pat
Caputo on line one.
Pat Caputo. Let's make fun of. Hey, Pat Caputo. When Pat
248
Caputo's out there,
248 539 97 97. Exact same number on the ticket text. I'm Pat Caputo.
Not the exact same number. I'm going to tell you what I know about the Detroit Lions. My name's Pat Caputo. You know, just all that kind of stuff, you know. That
97 won the ticket.
97-1. D7.
I'm Main Event Mike. I got a jet. God bless you all. Have a great day.
Oh, man. That's Main Event Mike. I ran him off here. I probably ran off Jeremy B, too. I'm making fun of too many people. Brett, that's it. I take Jeremy all wrong. Jeremy is talking about the NFL Network's free agency frenzy. They do cover the entire process. Schwartz was in his driveway. He was, dude. The first day of the legal tampering period, Schwartz was in his driveway. Look, man,
we're gonna buy the kneecap off.
Oh, Schwartz didn't do bad. I think Schwartz was the one that actually, took the Lions from, the cowardly Lions, going from the 0-14 to having a winning season for the first time in a while. I think Schwartz did I think he did a good job. He took him as far as he could get. Then he's now a defensive coordinator and a really, really good one. I think he might get another shot. 97 won the ticket. Yeah. I don't mind Pat Caputo sometimes, but the condescending opinions that's always bothered me. Condescending opinions, I've had a lot of bad takes on here, and that's what happens when you do this. You got your opinions, and sometimes it doesn't work out like that. Who coached your 0-16 season? That would be one Rod Marinelli. Yep. Yeah, gotta work on that pad level. Yeah, it's all about pad level. We need to get our pad level right, okay? Rod Marinelli, 0-16. The funny thing about that season, it's like the parody of the NFL. A lot of those games were close. It's like people act like it was like they were the worst team ever. I think there's been worse teams in that 0-16 teams, but they just, that's just bad. You're barely losing these games. It looked like a lot of the games you have the game in hand or something crazy happened at the end of the game. That's just what Lion fans are used to. They're not used to coming out on top of those close games. They would play them real tough. Sarah says that she doesn't remember Marinelli, and we don't want to remember him either. We wish that we have your amnesia, Sarah. Nobody from the Lions wants to remember that season. Oh my gosh. I remember so many morning conversations with friends of mine. I've been following the free agency and the whole off season for years and years and years. And I had my friends that I would talk to about that. And, how many times have you went and backed up some trash Detroit Lions players throughout the years? Yep. No moral victories for 2008. That was the worst season ever. There's no moral victory. I'm just saying a lot of the games were closer than you would think. It's not a moral victory. Didn't get low enough on that pad level, right, Jordan? I am not trying to hide behind that. That's the worst. That's what made us go here. With the PTSOL. That's where that was really born. We found ways to lose all those games. And that's it. If we've learned anything this year, Lion fan, it's that, these games are all close. You realize how a lot of these games are similar, the ones that you win and the ones that you lose, but you're on the side of winning. It's so close. The difference between winning and losing. I mean, you even think that Tampa Bay game, You know, if it wasn't, you know, for the crowd being real loud. Or, I mean, there could have been very small factors that could have had us lose the games that we won. And you just find ways to win. So that's what it's like. We're just not used to it. We're not used to finding ways to win, you know? So, it is 12:02. Yes, we're coming to the end of our program today, man. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And Jeremy, thank you for being a good sport. Like, we love busting balls on here, and I hope that you don't take it personally. He has earned that right. We have earned our right to get our balls busted by each other. We love this network, the Main Event Network, faith, family, and football. I believe in the faith first. You got to have faith. In our description, there's a link to our outreach and our giving from our church, from NTC Church, corner Bristol and Belsey Road, Burton, Michigan. I get to play guitar in their praise and worship group, and then Pastor Kevin Galloway always has a good word. If you want to join us for church, that's cool. If you want to use the link in there, they're doing some great stuff there in the outreach. We're distributing hope in one way or another. For Thanksgiving, it was turkeys. They were out there distributing turkeys, like 400 of them. Provided Christmases to needy children. There was like 100 families that we were able to distribute hope. And that's the most important thing. Faith, family, and football. In that order. Faith, family, and football. Now, the family and football part, that's the easy part. Super Bowl Sunday. On Sunday, we're going to start the new year. Our new year starts Monday, where we got Jeremy B doing our morning program at 11 a.m. And then we, Football Talk, Russell Wayne, move into the afternoon slot, 3 p.m. We're hoping to get some of them West Coast people up in there. So I'm going to leave you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following the Facebook page. Thank you for the ones that go to our link at NFLshop.com, where you can get this NFC North Champion plaque from our code. Use the promo code NFL15. Get yourself some free shipping. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow morning. Football Talk with Russell Wayne, the last morning show. God bless you.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not going to be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.